What's going on, YouTube? Clickyzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm trying out my new camera. It's my vlogging camera, so when I go on these trips or I'm gone for an extended period of time, I can still bring you that content you guys want. And, you know, I need to talk to you guys. I got a lot of stuff on my mind. I didn't know how to format the video, so I said, whatever. We're going to do this banner review as a vlog and then talk about banner reviews in general. So, let's talk about Lunera and the gang, and we'll go over each individually. Again, it's not going to be like it normally is. It should go back to the way it normally is. But, again, I had a lot to talk about, so here's how it's going to be. So, Ruggles comes into the 3-star base. Ruggles is not very good. We're not going to talk about Ruggles very much. Sadly, they didn't make Ruggles a boss, even though he looks like one. His TM is a hammer that has the earth element on it. And this could be good for Eileen. It's a high, high attack damage. I think it has the earth element on it. This could be good on Eileen, and, somebody was like, Click, I have Eileen. Should I, farm up Ruggles TM to throw on her since I don't have her TM? And I was like, wait a minute. Why don't you just farm Eileen TM? And then they gave me a good point, is that if they pull 5 Ruggles, you farm them up to 16% each, which shouldn't take that long. Feud them together. At least that's a stand-in until he gets the Eileen, not pile driver, excuse me, artisan, leveled up and TM leveled up and ready to go that he can use. So that was a good point. So that's a good thing about Ruggles if you need it. The hammer can be used on Eileen with that earth element. So that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Helena at a 4-star base. My favorite unit on the banner because of how she looks. She's like Indiana Jones, like, explorer type. Has dual wield with a couple of weapons. But overall, again, not satisfactory. TM being Mystical Skull. And I didn't know what Mystical Skull did before, but what it's going to do is it's a materia you throw on it. It gives you a passive Hyper Mentalist. Hyper Mentalist is going to give you 5% MP recovery and 50% limit burst fill rate as a passive. And who do we know that's going to be good on? That's right, Riku. You just got to think of how you're going to build Riku. I need to see the flow of battle, to be honest, with Riku in a real situation, because it seems like I'm filling her limit burst already with her Riku's pouch, like, insanely. So I think you want to get that Riku's pouch from Riku before you get this Mystical Skull and be throwing it on her for sure. Riku's TM is actually insane. And then Helena overall, she can do some deeps. She could be a little bit of a, finisher, I guess. I don't know. Helena's just going to be your bargain bin unit, sadly. Even with the dual wield, just nothing really to smile too much about, except for how cool the sprite looks. I mean, that sprite is sick. And the animation, sorry. Okay, we'll move on. So we have Bran, and then I kind of threw Bran to the side. I was like, this guy's not nothing. He doesn't have anything, but he actually does bring a lot. He's a physical damage dealing unit, 4-star to 6-star like Helena. And what he can do for us is that he can... he has an ability to put up your lightning and light resist on your whole team. That's pretty good. That's a good thing to have on your team. He has Elven Song and the kind that doesn't have any kind of stat boost with it. So if he's singing for 3 turns, he's going to boost your HP and MP up if you would need that. If you need some MP regeneration, he can bring that to the table. His big move is Thunderclap. And what that is it's an ability that does a lightning and light and peril of 50%. And then does that damage, lightning and light damage. I think it's a big chaining hit ability. The thing about it, though, is it's always going to have that element attached to it. So if something is resist to lightning, something is resist to light, Bran's going to have to, like, stay in the shadows a little bit. He can't use his best move. But that's not always a bad thing, right? Like, it's very rare that things are resist to both. Or, but even if it's resist to one, though, right? Because it does both of those damages, that's going to suck. That's going to be bad for you. Another good thing about Bran, though, is that his chaining frames are 5s in between. So he has his wind up and then he does 5 in between, similar to Chizuru, Amelia, Setzer, and Tidus. So that's going to be the way you guys can bring that together. Do a lot of good deeps with him. He can chain with most of the more easily chainable units. So I thought that was pretty cool. I haven't been able to test it myself, but, going over the frame data, that seems sweet. So he's very decent. I put him up there with Chizuru in them. Possibly even higher because of what he can do. Now let's talk about Lunera and what Lunera is bringing to the meta and how the meta is going to be shifting soon once bards come into play. So, in my opinion, and after talking with some JP players, there are 3 big bards in the game that you guys are going to be looking out for. We already have 2 of them now. We have Ramza, we have Lunera, and there'll be a person called Roy, I do believe. He'll be another bard we get. And what they do is they have amazing singing, for 3 turns. They just stay there. They don't do anything but sing. But when they sing, baby, it's beautiful, and it makes your team powerful. For example, when Ramza gets those enhancements we all keep talking about, 100% to all your stats, plus HP and MP recovery. And Lunera kind of has that right now. They did give her the Elven Song a +1 on the enhancements, allowing her to do 40% to all your attack, magic, defense, and spirit to everybody. And then also recover HP and MP. And while I think that's really, really awesome, we have that all over the board, though. A lot of people out there are already buffing about 40% or more. and locking her up for those turns isn't that great. However, when she gets her full enhancements to +2 on that song, that's going to put her up to 90% on that, remember, guys. So that's pretty damn good. That's awesome. On top of the fact that Lunera is a magic dealing unit, some great chaining abilities. Her biggest one hits for 20 times. I think it's a 4 times multiplier. It is hitting hard. So on top of that, they also buffed a couple of her other abilities, I think, that hit consecutively. She has moves that, you know, if you keep hitting consecutively, it does more damage. They buff that to, I think it does a little bit less damage when it's fully built, but it does more damage as it's ramping up in global, so it makes her a little bit more powerful. Now, she does need a bow in her hand. She does wind and light elements damage. She can buff wind and light elemental resist, so that's cool to have on your board too. But what are we talking about here? Like, what is she feeling in the meta? What is the meta? How's the meta going to shift? I mean, if you think about it, guys, if you have a bard who's singing for you for 3 turns, and you can just keep, after that 3 turns, just pop it back on, you don't really have to build that bard in any other way but tanky, right? You just want that bard to survive. They don't really have to be dealing damage if they're there specifically to be doing HP, MP recovery, plus, you know, generally boosting up your stats. So, in my opinion, that's how I would build them. And in the end, if you already have Ramza, you don't need Lunera. And we have Lunera's enhancements have to be way down the line as compared to Ramza, right? Unless Gumi's just never going to need Ramza as enhancements. I mean, 100% to all stats, these bards definitely change the game. But we're about to hit a really hard trial in the robot trial. A lot of people say that Ramza was required, or a bard was required there to make sure you can survive a lot of these hits at the 100%, you know, buff rate Ramza. And we don't have that. So it's going to be fun to mess around with that unless, I don't know, they sneak it in there, but he wasn't in the enhancements for the month when they did the enhancements preview, so there's that. So overall, should you pull in the banner? Like I said, no. I did 311 pulls, you know, just messing around. I always pull in every banner. I try to give you guys, like I say, do what I say, not what I do. I pull to make you guys happy. I hope on Friday nights, everybody's having a couple drinks on my stream, or they're not, you know, you're just hanging out, having fun, smiling. I'm pulling, you're getting hyped, I'm getting hyped, and we see what happens. You know, I do that to bring a smile, try to make people happy, and it makes me happy too. It's fun to do. It's fun to play around with. So, that brings me to my banner review discussion. So that's the end of them. Lunera right now is probably a 7 out of 10. I'd give Bran like a 7 out of 10 too. It's rough because like I kind of screwed myself in only doing you know, whole numbers. You know, maybe I should go into the, you know, 0.5s out of that, because then maybe Lunera would be a 7.5, Bran would be a 7. But Lunera would have been much more, but they couldn't give us the 90%, I guess. We should have had Ramza like years ago. Anyway, so let's talk about how I do my banner reviews and why people tend to disagree with me recently with the Zargabaath. So Zargabaath, great unit, has a lot to his kit. I mean, this guy can do a lot for your team. Why did I give him an 8 out of 10 and call him not the best? Here's a couple reasons. I just don't see him in a party in the end of the game, right? So let's talk about my main party. So you guys ask a lot, you know, what's your main party, Clake? What you rolling with? I have Wilhelm, Titus, Riku, Tillith, and then I'm going to have Olive on my team, okay? Olive is going to be taking that last spot. That last spot was a little bit bumpy for me, and now I've figured it out. So then I'm going to take a friend, Titus, to chain with. So in my opinion, you want a tank, you want a healer, you want a support. So Zargabaath could be in there, but I feel like Riku is stronger. And then, you know, you want I guess a finisher. So and your chainer. So you're going to have your chainer who has a friend that's kind of the same, who can, you know, chain with you, build up that chain, and then you have a finisher who can take advantage of those, you know, high multipliers at the end of that chain. That could also be there. Or there's another thing in the future. You could just have double support, right? So you could have like tank, support, healer, chainer, and then just have another chainer, and just hope that that does enough damage, because JP players have been telling me that the game just gets harder. It's not about how much damage you can do real quick. It's not about, you know, it's about lasting. It's not about dealing the damage. So my glass cannon builds, they're going to be going out the window because these bosses are going to be hitting hard and often, and we're going to have to be aware of that, okay? So the meta is going to change a bit. And, you know, that's something else I want to talk about. So where does Zargabaath fit in that? Does he fit into the double support role? Does he take Riku's spot? Because in my opinion, you guys say, you know, Zargabaath takes 1 turn, Klayak. Riku takes 2. She has to use synthesis, and then she can do her ability to boost up, you know, damage mitigation by 30%, and then all elements, I do believe, by 40%. And then Zargabaath can do that, you know, damage mitigation plus a little bit of damage by 20% on, you know, he can just keep doing that while he is also attacking. And he can also put up all elements resist by 40% whenever he wants. Guys, the only difference here is Riku actually wins that, in my opinion. Because Zargabaath will take 2 turns to do that every time, if that's what you want. You know, if you want both of them. And Riku will only take 1 after you do, you know, after you do synthesis, right? So it'll only be 1 every time. And so there's only 1 turn there where you're lacking in either elemental resist, maybe the first turn of the, or your damage mitigation. And the damage mitigation's higher on Riku anyway. But then we'll go to other things. Riku cannot buff your team stats. That's something she cannot do, whereas Zargabaath can do it by 60%. That's highest in global right now. That's pretty damn strong. I mean, but I'm already covering that. Remember, we're talking about my team. And obviously, he might take a really good place. You guys probably don't have the units I have. But that's the thing. Well, we're cutting all over this. This is a vlog, by the way, so we're going to be talking all over the place. That's the thing, though. With these banner reviews, guys, I have so many different players that I have to look out for when I talk about this, all right? I've got the tight-knit guy. He has 3,000 tickets. He ain't pulling until Sephiroth hits. Then you got the next guy who's pretty tight, but he wants to know the information. What should I pull in to make my team better? And then he also wants to pull on things that he likes. So he does spin his tickets, his lapis every now and then. Then you have the medium dolphin player who does spend a little bit of money, probably pulls a little bit on every banner, uses his tickets, then gains more between banners. Is a little bit smart, but also pulls for fun. And then you have players like me that pull on every banner. They're the whales. They don't give a shit. They just want to know if the banner is good, if the unit's good, when they pull it, because they're pulling for it, baby. It doesn't matter what it is. And then you actually just have impulse ticket pullers who will pull just randomly. They'll have a bunch of tickets saved up, and then they will just be like, cool, I just feel like pulling right now. Go, 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 go. There's so many players out there, so many team comps, so many needs that I have to think about this for all of you, and I do my best to do that. So when I look at Zargabaath, man, he's a 5-star base, all right? You know who else is a 5-star base? Orlando, Titus, Wilhelm, what else we got up here? Onion Knight. We're going to have Dark Veritas, you know, Ramza, Roy, 2B, Ayaka. These are characters that change the game so hard when you put them on your team that it's just game breaking, right? You have a 1% to pull this rainbow, guys. I have to tell you if that 1% chance for you is worth it. If you pulling on this banner, using your tickets, and you get lucky enough to pull that 5-star, did you make a sound investment? And that's why Zargabaath for me was no. Zargabaath does a lot for your team. Zargabaath is awesome. Zargabaath is a solid 8 out of 10. He is not a game-changing unit. He will not carry you single-handedly through things like Riku's re-raise can. Riku's re-raise, if you build her correctly, can literally win you the game. You just slowly just keep re-raising. Everybody has re-raise every 3 turns, you know, if you build her right. You know what I mean? And on top of that, she has all the other stuff she can do. I mean, that re-raise is single-handedly can change the game for you, obviously. Zargabaath just doesn't have that for me. So I just want you guys to understand that I can't say every banner is good. I can't speak up here. I try to be as positive as possible, but I can't speak up here and just be like, yo, every banner you should pull one. You know what I mean? I have to break on some. And this Lunera and Zargabaath, they've been no-nos for me. They just haven't been there. But yeah, I know I've been kind of all over the place with this this vlog. A couple things though. We're approaching 20K subs. Oh my god. Yeah, right? So we're approaching 20K subs. I'm going to be doing a big giveaway for that. You know, 20, that's two $100 giveaways I'm going to be doing once we hit 20K subs. As long as you're subbed, you're going to be able to get that. And again, if you follow me on Twitch, Twitter, if you sub to me on Twitch, you're going to get more chances at those 2 $100 giveaway gift cards. And that'll be either in Amazon Coins if you guys want, iOS, or Google Play. You'll just have to send me what you want when you win. So other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what you guys think about this, and hope you understand with my banner reviews how I have to think. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below on everything I talked about and how you feel, and help me like understand from you guys. You know, I want to take what you guys have to learn, or I want to learn from you guys. I want to know what you want. I want to know how to change. I don't want to stay here and be complacent. I want to be better for you guys. And then subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys in the next video.